Good evening, it's Norma Cowie. It's Monday night, and I'm here with mental mind treatment. First of all, I want to welcome Marion, who works the Tibetan bowl she's not here, but she works at it, and it really helps me energetically and to have some clarity. Also, and Marion says good evening to me, blessings to all. Kayla Tomlin also has joined us with joyful blessings and much love to all. And she asked me to treat and see what comes through for her. So we don't have any numbers. For those, if there's anybody new watching, I like to have 3 numbers between 1 and 22 and what it is that you want to know about, whether what condition, whether what situation, what problem, etc., that I like to know about. I do have one person who has already emailed me, and he often does that just so that I have it, because he lives on the other side of the world where it's midnight, something like that. Excuse me. I've had a lovely weekend. My son came up. There were some changes I wanted to make with my household furniture, and so he did the majority of the work because he's big and strong. And when we went out and did some shopping, and I might now have flowers in my house and a few other things that we did, which was really good. But we came home and found one of my things I had on the wall outside, which I've had for years, excuse me, I'm having a bit of water, was stolen. Well, that's the only thing I can figure. We couldn't find it on the ground. Because I'm from New Zealand, there's a little New Zealand mask I've had for years. I've been in this country for, a long time. And I came in 63. So do the math on that one. And that was a bit sad. But I've learned how to let go of things when you need to let go of them. So I see some other people have joined us, which is great. And I don't know why I've got a choke in my throat, but I'm just going to write Karen's down. And Karen says, "Greetings, Norma," and gives me 3 numbers. And so we'll go through. Now, I wanted to start off, first of all, with 007. He's been with us a long time and usually joins in, and he emails me about his eyes still. And the 3 numbers he gave me was 8, 18, and 22. Now, in the tarot, the 8 is a strength card, but 18 is the moon, which is emotional. And then 22 is the fool, which is faith. So what we've got here is the need of having strength with the issue and the problem that is there. But because of all the emotionality that's going on, what is needed is to have faith in the result you want. If you want something and you don't have faith in it, then what begins to happen is that you don't work with the strength or the power that's there and all the other things that work so that you can move ahead with ease and grace. So I'm just going to do the treatment on having strength, because I think the faith is there and I know that, but it's like getting over the emotions, the fear. Emotions are fear, the fear that's here about the eyes. And as I've said in the past, and I have had that come to me a couple of times now, is that we've got, when the eyes or ears or whatever's issue, we've got to go back to see what was happening before the issue started. If it's at birth, you're looking at past life stuff. Otherwise, you have to go back to when you first began to have an issue. When I began to realize that, thanks to you guys on Monday nights, I went back and took a look at mine. And mine aren't so bad, but I got to see why I began to wear glasses. So, it's an interesting journey. So anyway, here's the mental mind treatment for 007. I know there is one power, and I know there is one essence of being. And so I speak my word for 007. And as I speak my word for 007, I know the understanding of the power that is there, that gives strength and gives purpose, and in a sense also gives vision of where we're going and what's happening and where you want to go. The unfortunate thing in this case is that the fear that it may not be, the fear of results, the fear of what about this or what about that, and maybes and all those things that go through our mind, what's happening is that the faith that things will work out, that you will get to achieve what you want, begins to crumble. And so the emotions went out. And that is the sad part of this. So the sad part is where the faith doesn't come all the way through. And I'm just going to move this a little bit better. I think, yeah, that's better because I'm a little more in the middle. Sorry, I'm distracting myself here. So what I want to say here is that's very important. You maintain your faith, maintain your strength that you're dealing and coping. But remember, it is the power, it is the love, it is the understanding that you have that really to overcome the emotional fear of what you're scared is going to happen or take place. I give thanks in the knowingness that 07 has the ability to rise above the fear and the emotions that rule of the maybes. I know it feels like that's where we're heading and that's where we're going, but it's a real sense of the direction of where and what we're happening. I give thanks in the knowing of this as I release this. And sin, my strength, my power, my understanding of fear, and it's a sense of walking through it, putting it aside. There's an old biblical statement that says, "Get behind me, Satan." I don't know why I'm saying that, but I know that there has been religious study here. And it's like saying emotion, unqualified fear emotion. That's what it is. Breathe, be in the present, look at what you want, and trust, and trust, and trust. I give thanks in the knowing of this, and I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Kayla, my friend Kayla, bless her heart, had sent me some notice about Deepak Chopra as having a situation, begins in October the 1st. And if you wanted to learn more about that, you can go to his website, deepakchopra.com/membership. It's for, I think it's free, if I remember rightly, when I wrote down, and it'll tell you what you can put in there so you can listen or hear what Deepak has to say. She also wants a treatment. She said, treat and see what comes. Well, I usually don't treat unless I've got some numbers. So I actually made 2 lots of numbers. I was waiting, so I had some time. And the first set basically says, I had 10, 12, and 5. It's like things are moving and there's an acceptance, always the acceptance here. But it's like, just utilizing and knowing what you know. You know what you need to do. You know what needs to be done. You know the direction that you need to go in and what you need to do. And sometimes our minds don't really implement exactly what, because we have this other agenda of what we want and how we want it to be. So I'm going to treat and we'll see what comes up. I know there is one power in one essence. And as I speak my word for Kayla, I know that in deep within herself, she knows exactly what she needs for herself to support, to feel the love of the universe, and also the vision of what she wants. I'm really feeling right now as I move into the treatment, the need for clarity of the end result. A knowingness that this is and this can be, and also a feeling of knowing a deservingness of what it is that you wanting and desiring. I'm given the impression of driving a car. It's like learning to drive a car. What do we need to learn? We have to not only learn how to steer correctly, so we're not banging into anything, but we need, if we have a wheel, like a 4, I was thinking up changing gears. Sorry, my brain's going, what? Changing gears. We need to know how to use the clutch as well as the accelerator and the brake. So we got three things, which we can only do one basically at a time. We accelerate and brake. And if we have a clutch, we don't have to know how to put the clutch in to change the gears. So there's a certain amount that goes in driving that you have to know if you're using just a regular car with clutches and all that stuff. And that's my sense here, is that the awareness of what you need to do for you, not what anyone else says, that includes me, not what anyone else is maintaining, that's the doctors. What in your heart are you really wanting? What is the outcome you are really wanting? Now, I had a very interesting experience this last Wednesday when I was talking. I was answering some questions that 007 had sent me to ask about. He wanted me to talk about them. And in the middle of talking about something, because it's not in my wheelhouse exactly, but he asked me to speak on it, so I thought, okay, I will. But in the middle of this, what I realized is that what we wanted is that we don't have to really concentrate on the end result. We need to know what the end result is, and then we release that and let it go. And so the forces of love, light, whatever you want to call that, works to bring them. Because what I realize all the times, for those of you that listen to me quite often, I talk about the miracles that happened in my life. And I realize that's exactly what happened. I had a thought of how I wanted things to be or where I wanted to go, and then I let it go. And then maybe quite a while later, something occurred that brought it into my life. So I began to realize where the miracles came from, was the letting go. It wasn't just my thought was there, this is what I want, or this is how I'd like things to be. And then I let it go. I didn't hassle it. I didn't overthink it. I didn't concern it. And I was so thankful for this talk that I re-listened to it because I wasn't sure how it went over, because it wasn't really my topic per se. It was, but you know what I mean? It wasn't something I thought a lot about. So I began to find what it was that you needed. And I feel why I'm talking about this right now, Kayla, is because I feel that you know what you want, ask for that, and then let it go so it can manifest in the way it'll manifest. And that's why I always thought I was having all these miracles happen, coming out of nowhere. People offering things, doing things, having houses to live in free, all sorts of weird stuff happened when I needed it. But I wasn't thinking about it or maintaining it. I just let it be, and it was brought to me. And we have to be open for that. And I feel this is here. You say, treat and see what comes. Know what you want first. You got to do that. This is what I want. I want good health. I want to feel like I can do the things I want to do with ease. And just breathe it out and trust the universe. We do all this learning about trusting the universe. And do we trust it? No. We don't always trust it, because we get caught in our own fear and our own sense of it's supposed to happen. We get tight. And if it get tight, believe me, the universe is not going to work so well. So I give thanks in the knowing of this, and I give thanks, I give a window to be able to repeat a little bit of what I discovered in the middle of doing a talk about something that I wasn't too sure about what I was talking about, but it fitted. So that works well. So I give thanks as I release this for Kayla, knowing that it is, and you can make this happen, whatever it is you want. Treat and see what comes, she says. Treat and see what comes, because you know what you want. So let it go into the light. Even if you do it every day, I've done that before, but just don't buggle it with the brain at all. And so I say that with love and blessings. Karen Marcus. Lovely pictures, looked at them. Beautiful with the rainbow there. Greetings, Norma. 17, 14, and 13. So we've got the star, temperance, which are both very similar symbols about balancing of energy. And 13 is the death card, meaning rebirth into new things. So we've got here, I think it's about your balance and the awareness of change. But we've had, since we started this show, you have had a lot of change, death symbols, 13, anything that represents a lot of things signifying change. It's like almost you reach one step, breath, and then the next step, breath. And maybe because you and may have to at some time go up all those stairs in that high place you live in. Excuse me. So let's take a look at what the mental mind treatment says here. Before I start, I'm going to have a drink of water though. Thank you. I know there is one power and one essence of love, support, and acceptance, forgiveness, all the things you talk about in a spiritual nature and way. I also know, as I look here, that this is about balancing what is known with the physical, what is known with what is balanced with the emotional. So between the physical balance and the emotional balance, there is a letting go that occurs or needs to occur as the movement forward is step by step by step. Number 13 is the death symbol, but it's on a white horse walking through the horror of war. Sometimes we don't like this space. We want to go to that space now. But sometimes we just have to walk and go step by step by step to our new horizon of where we're going and what we're doing. And that's what I think here again, because you've had so much change. You've had so much go on there. It's like, when is it ever going to end? But it's actually the balancing point that you've got within the events, the emotionality, and the awareness of moving forward to the end goal that is before the next goals come. Because what a lot of people think is, oh, I just got to get there and everything will be fine. It's a new beginning to the next phase of whatever. And so it is that we move and then we go and be. I give thanks in knowing, as I speak my word for Karen him, that although this is change and movement forward, what it really is about moving into wonder, moving into newness, moving into, it's like a step. If you're walking up those steps, it's like coming to a different level, a level of understanding, but mostly about balancing internal emotion with mental as well, but with the outside. I give thanks in the knowingness, and I give thanks as I release this now by saying, and so it is, and so it is. Okay, as we move forward, Ashika. Oops, hang on. I'm just giving a breath here. Okay, you can choose the numbers. Thank you. Treatment for healing your lower back. Here we still go on the lower back. We've got to do something. Lower back is usually self-support. So let me just think. I've got 20, 12, and 1. Okay. I know, because I've had a lot of lower back issues myself in my life, and it really boils down to when you're supporting yourself or when you're doubting yourself. When you doubt yourself, your lower back will start to hurt, because that's the support of the upper system. That's the support, is the lower back. And I've been having a lot of problems actually with that in the last while. But it's like how we respond to that. So now the 3 numbers I picked was 20, 12, and 1. 20 is judgment, which is accepting the power. 12 is acceptance of what is. 1 is the beginning, then all things begin. And all things are possible. So let me just qualify that into a mental mind treatment so you can make a little more sense of that. I know as I speak my words for care that there is an acceptance of the bigger power, whatever you want to call it. That's your choice, what you want to call that light power, that love source, as I talk about out there, to allow that to come not only into your heart, but into your back, to your feet, out into the earth. We used to do a meditation when I was learning way many, many years ago about bringing the light in through the top of the head, through the body, doing what it needed to do. And the light can be of any color. It's your choice. Down through your legs, and then say this is your feet, through the bottom of your foot, the middle here, through the foot, and deep into the earth. That is what I see with that number 20. The need is to incorporate the flow of a color, the love, the light through your system and down, and then accept it as is. Accept the reality of it, accept the knowingness of it. It's like you have to make a step here, and that it's just not in your head, but it's in your heart. You know, and that will begin all things are possible. Everything is possible if we get out of our own way. When I look back on my life, I used to get in my way all the time, which is why I understand why people do. But it's like there is a power that we can draw upon. There is a power that loves us, and we can bring that into ourselves, but we must take it through our whole body. And so your lower back needs to feel that energy coming in there, breaking down the resistance of fear. Moving through your body, through the bottoms of your feet, both sides, down into the earth, so you can accept that you are loved by the universal love source, number 1. Then everything is possible. You have movement, you have ease, you have grace. That's, very often I have to get up in the morning myself. Well, I mean, I'm older than you are. That's not the point, though. And yeah, I'm a little stiff, and I just wiggle around, and all of a sudden I can move really, really well. In my lower back, that's for sure. I give thanks and knowing for Akeisha that there is a solution here that she can utilize to be able to move forward, because everything is possible. If you've got a deck of cards, look at the magician. He says that. Apply above, bring the energy down, because it's possible. I give thanks and knowing this for Akeisha. I really am. And release this by saying, and so it is. Blessings to you. Lynette, good to have you on again tonight. Thank you. 6, 10, 21. For being present in the now. Yes, that is an interesting one. I mean, being present. I've got to write this down, Otherwise, I can forget. Oops, I messed that up. In the now, I just had an incredible few days with my son as we've been redoing some things in my apartment. He goes home tomorrow. Okay, 6, 10, 21. 6 very often is confusion. 10 is needing to be like the center while all chaos goes around you, or change around you. And 21 is the balancing of it all, being balanced. This is a little scattered. I'm looking at the numerology of your name at the moment too. You see, when we are really learning in depth about how the universal love force works with us, Sometimes it appears confusing because we'll listen to different voices and they say different things. I'm thinking, well, of course, I say the correct things, but it's like we make choices, actually. We make choices as to what we find resonates with who we are. When we have that 10 sitting there and it's like we have to become like the hub of the wheel because life goes around and we have to make choices. How are we going to respond? Because it's all about the wheel of fortune. It's like turmoil in some way. It's just yours doesn't feel like turmoil, but it's moving and it's like it hasn't got a destination. So I'm going to come back to that destination. I got to write that down. And then 21 is about balancing the mind, the emotion, and having balance. And I would call it accordance in your life, where there is a sense of this is it. Want to make sure that you understand the emotions, what occurs when you hear something and you're trying to make sense of it. And I know, what I always want to do is make sense. I often say that, or am I making sense? Because words are important. But when you have a lot of people giving you a lot of different ideas, or you're reading in different books, different concepts, it can get very, very confusing. And when it gets very confusing, sometimes we just have to take a big breath, step back a little bit and say, well, how are we really feeling? Not coming from the head, but from the heart and the sense of the purpose inside. Because we need to be strong on who we are and where we want to go. And that's the whole thing, because when we come into that number 21 and we have balance, we have the pluses and minuses balance out. We know that. There's math does that. I'm not sure, I'm not mathematical, but I can add. But it's like we need to have that balance. So I think that what's happening here, you want to be present in the now and you're still battling a lot of other things. So it's like be in the now. Just be now. I'm sad at this moment. I'm happy here. I'm not so sure about this. But please, if you have other voices coming in from different areas, I was going to say, not mine necessarily, but others, is that you just breathe and be with yourself. Be with yourself, because you're the key. You're the hub. You can make the changes. You can decide the direction you want to go. And so we bring that in. Okay, so let's go into treatment. Knowing that there is one power and one essence, knowing as I speak my word for Lynette, that there is an awareness of this power that exists for you or for anyone, but for you, because this is your treatment. And that you can breathe that in at any time. That's why, to me, I'm going to come off a little bit of the treatment to just explain something. That's why, to me, I find color very important. What color, and I'll talk to sometimes, what color do you want to use? What color feels right? What color has love in it? What color says you're absolutely A-OK? What is the color? And so in that moment, when you pick a color, when you pick an awareness, you can breathe into it so you can be in that present and that now and know everything is. I call it isness. To come into the isness so everything is. And in that you can breathe, and then you can bring the balance of your mind and your heart in alignment, and everything will calm down. Everything comes into the present where you get to make a choice or not. You can just be there, or you can choose to be somewhere different or else. I give thanks in the knowingness for Lynette that she is ready to let go all the voices and all the feelings and just come into center And so within the changes that take place, she can be present and balanced. I give thanks to the knowing of this as I release this thought, knowing that it is done and it is true. And so it is. And thank you, Lynette. Kayla says, thank you. I like the car metaphor. Oh, I didn't even know I said that. Karen M, so helpful, so true. Thank you. And bless you, my dear, too. Ashika says, thank you. I love Math 7 says, hello, thank you very much. Just finished listening to my treatment and all the others. I will email you soon. Thank you. Well, that looks like all we have tonight. So if anybody, what's good is just over half hour, so we've done well. So if there's anybody else last minute, you want to put something in, do so, because I'm going to wrap up. Today being Monday night, on Wednesday, I will be doing, on my Wednesday morning talk, we'll be doing a reading for this month coming up. So it'll be interesting to see what brings, because there's all sorts of things happening in the world, and I don't know how much is going to reflect in the reading for what I call North America, for us as a Canadian and the US. So that will be happening. And I'm still working with my Are You Aware thought. I did one and I wasn't happy with it. And I've been so busy since I haven't put a new one up, but I think I'm going to do that. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thumbs, please connect the thumbs up, which you all have. Thank you for that. And let me know what you would like to hear, because when I go to talk, I have to draw on what I know, but I've been talking now for 2 years, nearly 2 years. So it's like I really, thanks to Math 7, I managed to give a talk, and it brought me great awareness that more than I had, let's put it that way, more than I had, which was like, wow. I finished off and I was going, wow. I didn't quite see it that way, but it was much clearer than what I'd seen it before, and realized why my miracles had happened, because I let go. And some of you have goals and you're wondering, well, why aren't they here? And maybe it's just, you just never let the energy force bring them in, because there's no, no restriction on how they show up. And they just show up. Anyway, everybody, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. And trustingly, you'll be back next month. But next month, right? Are we in the month? Are we changing months? I don't know. I've been busy today, the last few days, rushing around here. Anyway, blessings. Enjoy, and I'll be back on Wednesday morning. Thanks a lot. Bye now.